There's a lot of Mario games. There's a lot of consoles. Which console has the most Mario games? Well, that's a tricky question because what exactly qualifies as a Mario game? Obviously, basically everything with Mario in the title, but even that gets a little tricky. Then there's remasters and remakes and virtual consoles, so let's set some rules. Any game where Mario is the clear main character is a Mario game, but not necessarily every game where you can play as Mario is a Mario game. Like Smash isn't a Mario game, NES Remix isn't a Mario game. They feature Mario. Any port or remake will count as its own separate game, but games released through Virtual Console or on the Nintendo Online apps won't, because Nintendo wouldn't say that Mario Kart 64 is a Switch game like they say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is, even though they both originate from different consoles. For the same reason, I won't include backwards compatibility, though I will do a final tally at the end including it and Virtual Console. Then, what do we do about compilation games? I say they gotta be compilations of games from different systems, otherwise I'd be counting games that are already on the platform again. And I'm gonna count a compilation as one game, because listing every game included would be kind of insane. Like, do we really want to give the Game Boy a bunch of extra games for the Game & Watch Gallery series? No, that'd be dumb. So with our rules set, let's get started with the obvious first console that Mario appeared on, the Atari 2600, which had two Mario games, Donkey Kong and Mario Bros. It also had Donkey Kong Jr., but that ain't a Mario game. He's the villain in that one, and it plays nothing like the original. There's a few more consoles that just have Donkey Kong on them. Give it up for the ColecoVision and Television and Coleco Atom. Then we get to the console people actually care about. The Super Mario Bros. Games are all Mario games, big shocker. Donkey Kong and Mario Bros. Are here too. Wrecking Crew stars Mario and Luigi, so does NES Open Tournament Golf. The original NES Golf is way less themed around Mario, but if you squint, that is him. Pinball has Mario in it on the bonus stage and box art, but Mario is not the focus, so this is not a Mario game. Dr. Mario and Mario's Time Machine are clearly Mario games. Then we got Yoshi, which oddly enough doesn't feature Yoshi as a playable character. You play as Mario and Luigi, who have to stack Mario enemies together, and Yoshi is in the corner. Yoshi's Cookie is another puzzle game where Mario and Yoshi work together at a cookie factory. These are both Mario games. Finally, Mario is Missing. You might be more familiar with the Super Nintendo version, but it released on NES too. This is an educational game where you play as Luigi, which makes its status as a Mario game debatable because of the whole Mario is Missing thing, but I am going to say that this is a Mario game because it is clearly just a spin-off, not really trying to be its own thing separate from Mario. Luigi is the secondary main character of this franchise. He's what makes it Bros. Him being the protagonist does not make this not a Mario game, and it does not make this a Luigi game. Luigi's Mansion is different, we'll get to it when we get to it. And that's not the end of the NES, because there's the Famicom Disk System, the Japan-only add-on that played games off of floppy disks. There's quite a few ports of NES Mario games to this thing. They have very few insignificant differences, they are not new games. But we do have a new game that translates to I Am a Teacher Super Mario Sweater. This software gives you designs for Mario-themed sweaters according to your measurements that you can then knit in the real world. I'm gonna count this. All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros. Is a remixed version of Super Mario Bros. Themed around the Japanese radio show All Night Nippon. Some of the sprites are replaced with hosts of the show, and levels are added from the Lost Levels and Versus Super Mario Bros. And what makes this game even stranger is that it's kind of a remake, because it's built with the physics of Japan's Super Mario Bros. 2, but with most of the level designs adapted from Super Mario Bros. 1. It's in a weird spot for the purposes of this video, but I am going to count this as another game for the NES. Both Famicom Grand Prix games star Mario as the player character in the car. Golf Japan Course and Golf US Course are both new games based on regular NES Golf, but with new maps, sprites, and quality of life features. Golf Japan Course got a few different versions, the first being Japan Course Professional Course, which was given to about 5,000 people who played in a Japan Course contest, which was done by literally faxing Nintendo your golf scores. It has new, harder maps, which makes it a different game from regular Japan Course because all of the content is different. And then there's Japan Course Champions Course, which was given to the top 100 scoring players of that same contest. This version also featured new courses, but they're lost to time because none of the 100 winners have dumped their ROM. Mario Bros. Returns. It's a Mario Bros. Remake with ads. There's an added mode with cutscenes that advertise products, and if you get a high enough score in the game, it'll give you codes to mail to Nintendo to enter a raffle to get a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3 or themed playing cards. There is one last Japan-only accessory for the NES called the Family Basic. This let you make incredibly simple programs using assets from Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong. It also had a couple mini-games preloaded that feature Mario, like Mario World. You collect apples in this game, and Heart, where you fill up a heart by speaking into a microphone, and then Mario and Pauline come out at the end. I wouldn't say this is a Mario game or piece of software or whatever, it's a programming tool with some Mario crap on the side, though I really wanted to count it because Heart being a Mario game would be very funny. So in the end, the NES has 23 Mario games on it, 6 of them are golf. Now we get to the Game Boy. Let's get the obvious games out of the way. Super Mario Land 1 and 2, Dr. Mario, Yoshi, Yoshi, Yoshi's Cookie, Mario's Picross 2, and Donkey Kong are all Mario games. I was skeptical about Alleyway because I know from the box art it's like, oh, Mario's controlling the paddle, but I thought that was just a fun thing for the box. I hadn't actually played the game before, and yep, you play as Mario, he's the main character, this is a Mario game. Game & Watch Gallery 1, 2, and 3 are compilations of Game & Watch games remade with Mario characters. It'd be kinda silly to say these aren't Mario games. The originals weren't, and they are playable in these collections, but Mario is the default. Baseball has Mario and Luigi in it as pitchers for the American teams, but I'm not sure this can be considered a Mario game. They don't have unique sprites, like could you tell this is Mario? There's nothing special added to the sport, and the Japanese teams don't have any Mario characters on them at all. So I think this is just a game that he appears in and not a Mario game. Same with Tetris. You play as Mario and Luigi in the multiplayer modes, but I don't think that makes this a Mario game. I think that was just a fun thing that they put in. Golf still stars Mario though, but he doesn't have a mustache in this game. That's kind of an important thing to miss. Wario Land Super Mario Land 3 is not a Mario game. Mario is barely in it, the name is stupid and wrong. So the Game Boy has 13 Mario games. I count the colors separately, we'll get to it later. On to the Super Nintendo. Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Mario Paint, Mario's Time Machine, the 3 Mario's early years games, Mario is Missing, Tetris and Dr. Mario, Mario Super Picross, Super Mario RPG, Wrecking Crew 98, and Yoshi's Cookie are all clearly Mario games. Some people say Yoshi's Island is a Mario game because it has Super Mario World 2 in the title, but I'm kind of torn. This game is a spin-off, but it also started the Yoshi series that Nintendo themselves recognize as separate from Mario and Smash. Like later Yoshi games definitely aren't considered Mario games, but I think that because this is the first one and Mario is technically a main character, I'm going to count it. But I'm not happy about it. Tetris Attack is just a Yoshi's game though. There's a Japanese-only version of Yoshi's Cookie which has an additional baking mode, where the game shows you how to make the cookies from the game in real life. There's also a little mini-game where Yoshi needs to find things around the kitchen. Does this count as a different game? No. The entire original is here, there's just a built-in cookbook now. I don't think that's enough new content to count this, especially because it's not really game content. Undake 30's same game Mario version is a Japan-only Mario-themed tile matching game. Yoshi Safari is the one and only Mario first-person shooter. You don't play as Mario or Wario in Mario & Wario, you play as Wanda the Fairy, oh different one, sorry, who guides Mario through the stages because his dumbass got his head stuck in a bucket. This is a Mario game because it's surely not a Wanda game. Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World are a headache. They're the real reason I had to make the rule that compilations can't include games that already appear on the console. Like, I would say these are different enough to be counted separately, but that also sounds really stupid. I could count out each game included, but again, that'd make it weird because I'd have to count the Game & Watch Gallery series out individually. Unless I decide to count games out on a case-by-case basis, but then that just gets more complicated and people would get mad at me for which games I do and don't count out. So to keep it really simple, this doesn't count as a separate game because Super Mario World is already on the Super Nintendo. The original Mario All-Stars adds one. The Picross MP series were Picross games that have themed puzzles around certain games and franchises, one of them being Super Mario 64. I don't think this should count as a Mario game though, because while yes, there are Mario puzzles, the vast majority aren't Mario themed, and unlike the other Picross games, it's not implied that you are playing as Mario. The Satellaview was this console's Japan-only add-on which let you download games from satellite broadcasts. Most of the Mario games on this service were slightly different versions of pre-existing games, like Mario Paint without mouse controls, but I wouldn't count these as different games. There were 3 completely new Mario games released on this service: Easy Racer, which was sort of a spiritual successor to Famicom Grand Prix, BS Super Mario USA, which reused assets and levels from Super Mario Bros. 2 and All-Stars, but had a bunch of differences and told a new story that was supposed to be a sequel to Super Mario Bros. 2, and Excitebike Bun Bun Mario Battle, which was an Excitebike remake with Mario characters, which ends the Super Nintendo list with 21 Mario games. Hey look, it's the Philips CDI. It has 1 Mario game on it. You know what it is. Next up is the Virtual Boy, which comes in dead last among the Nintendo consoles with only 2 games, Mario's Tennis and Mario's Clash, which is still almost 10% of the Virtual Boy's library. The N64 is another pretty easy console to talk about. Every Mario game is obvious and has Mario in the title. Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Paper Mario, Dr. Mario 64, and Mario no Futappi. The 64DD only adds 3 Mario Artist games, making a total of 13. The Game Boy Color is an odd console. A lot of people group it with the Game Boy, and a lot of people don't. Either way, someone's gonna comment about it. Every game made exclusively for the Game Boy Color will of course be counted, and I'm only gonna count original Game Boy games if they were made with the color in mind, which is only 2, Game & Watch Gallery 2 and 3. Everything else is a Game Boy Color exclusive. Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis are all clear-cut Mario games. Mobile Golf is a Japan-only game very similar to Mario Golf. It had Mario characters in it, but they were only accessible using the mobile adapter GB, which let the Game Boy Color connect to a phone to use cellular data, which for this game unlocked Mario, Peach, Yoshi, and Foreman Spike. like. But they're not part of the base roster, the rest are all original characters. And without them, this is just a normal golf game. And to add insult to injury, the accessory was discontinued like 20 years ago, so mobile golf will forever not be a Mario game. The last thing we got for Game Boy Color is Mario Family, which is another piece of sewing software that connected to the JN100 sewing machine, which would copy Mario designs onto fabric. So counting that, the Game Boy Color has 6 Mario games. And if you really want to count the original and the color together, there's 17. The GameCube had a bunch more Mario games: Super Mario Sunshine, Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7, Jesus Christ, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Mario Kart Double Dash, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Mario Power Tennis, DDR Mario Mix, Mario Superstar Baseball, and Super Mario Strikers. The problem game is Luigi's Mansion. I don't think this is a Mario game. Luigi's Mansion is so different in tone and gameplay from any other Mario game, and it's become its own series. It's like how Wario spun off to sort of be his own thing separate from Mario. Luigi's Mansion is a lot closer to being a Mario game than Wario stuff, but I think it's fair to say that this isn't a Mario game. It's a Luigi's Mansion game. Nintendo Puzzle Collection is a Japan-only compilation of Dr. Mario 64, a sequel to Yoshi's Cookie, and a sequel to Panel de Pon, which isn't really a Mario game, but the package is 2/3 Mario stuff, and I counted Tetris and Dr. Mario on the Super Nintendo, so I'm gonna count this, making the tally for GameCube 13. I am not counting Animal Crossing. It has some NES Mario games you can get on it, but I think it'd be ridiculous to say that makes this a Mario compilation game. It's just not. A good chunk of the Game Boy Advance's Mario game library is taken up by the 4 Super Mario Advance games, but there's also Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario and Luigi got its start here, so did Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Mario Golf and Tennis got games, there's Mario Pinball Land, Mario Party Advance, Dr. Mario and Puzzle League, Game & Watch Gallery 4, and Mario Party E, which is a real-life card game, but with moments that you have to switch over to the GBA to play mini-games. Then there's 6 classic NES Mario games, which I hate counting because they're basically like Virtual Console before Virtual Console, because they're just straight up the NES games. I know they borked the aspect ratio and maybe fix a thing here and there, but like whatever, they're the same games, but I have to count them. Then there's the e-reader, which let you scan special cards. This is how Mario Party E worked. There were a bunch of NES games playable through this thing, but only one new Mario game, Golf. So the GBA ends up with 21 games, and I'm so happy it doesn't take first place because the majority of them are ports, some of which stand alongside their own remakes. The DS only has one port, Super Mario 64 DS, and the originals are pretty easy to list. Mario Kart DS, New Super Mario Bros., Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Mario Party DS, a couple Mario and Sonic at the Olympics games, 2 Mario and Luigi games, 3 Mario vs. Donkey Kong games, Yakuman DS, a Japan-only Mahjong game where you play as and against Mario characters, and Itadaki Street DS, which is the precursor to Fortune Street on the Wii. DSiWare gave it some more games like Dr. Mario Express, Game & Watch Mario Cement Factory, Mario Clock, and Mario Calculator. Super Princess Peach is this system's problem game. It plays kind of like a 2D Mario, but it has a lot of differences too. Levels are longer, Peach has a parasol attack, and uses emotion powers that change how she interacts with the world. I think it'd sound weird to call this a Mario game, so I won't, meaning the DS has 18. The Wii's got Super Paper Mario, Mario Strikers Charge, Mario Party 8 and 9, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, 3 Mario and Sonic Olympic games, Mario Kart Wii, Mario Super Sluggers, New Play Control, Mario Power Tennis, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Super Mario All-Stars, Mario Sports Mix, and Fortune Street. Not much to say about this console, it's pretty simple. You could say 25th Anniversary Super Mario Bros. Is a new game because it's exclusive to the Wii and has like 2 new assets, but it's technically Virtual Console, so I don't gotta count it. The Wii has 16 Mario games. The 3DS is also mostly simple, so I'll get the tricky one out of the way. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I'm gonna use footage from the Wii U version because it looks nicer. Mario not being in it should make this an open and shut case because the gameplay is very unique, but Captain Toad is still very tethered to Mario. It's a direct prequel to Super Mario Odyssey, at least the 3DS version is, and the entire game was inspired by the Captain Toad levels in Super Mario 3D World. Like, it feels wrong to say that this isn't a Mario game, but it also feels wrong to say that it is. It's clearly a spin-off, just did it spin far enough away? I think yes, but just barely. And because I said Luigi's Mansion and Super Princess Peach aren't Mario games, this shouldn't be one either. The rest of these games are super easy though. Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7, Mario and Sonic at 2 Olympic games, they skipped 2014 for some reason, Mario Tennis Open, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Paper Mario Sticker Star, 3 mini Mario games, 4 Mario and Luigi games, 2 of which came out after the Switch did, 3 Bad Mario Parties, Mario Golf World Tour, Dr. Mario Miracle Cure, Mario Maker but bad, a bunch of Bad Mario Sports all in one, photos with Mario, and then this weirdo, Puzzles Plus Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition. That's 23 Mario games. The 3DS is tied with the NES for the #1 spot. I honestly wasn't expecting that because so many of these are forgettable. Speaking of forgettable, we're on to the Wii U. We got some Nintendo Switch games, a couple Mario and Sonics, a couple Mario and Donkey Kongs shared with the 3DS, the worst Mario Party, Super Mario Maker, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, and Paper Mario Color Splash. What a generation. 2013 was the year of Luigi, so we got got a couple green oddballs this time, like New Super Luigi U. It was originally DLC to a Mario game, but it got its own standalone physical release, which I think qualifies it as a separate game. But is it a Mario game? Yes. Like, the gimmick is that he's not in it, but other than that, there's nothing that this game does to differentiate itself from the rest of the series. Dr. Luigi is basically the same story. They made a Dr. Mario game without Dr. Mario. That's still a Dr. Mario game. And the Wii U needs all the games it can get, because even with these Year of Luigi games, it's still the home console with the least Mario games on it, tied with the GameCube. Now the big dog, the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna get the one question out of the way. Is Princess Peach Showtime a Mario game? No. It's very unique, and he's not in it. So with that covered, we got a lot of games to list. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 2 Mario plus Rabbids games, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Tennis Aces, 3 Mario Parties, 2 more Wii U games, Super Mario Maker 2, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics that didn't happen in 2020, Good Paper Mario, Weird Paper Mario, Weird Mario Kart, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario Bros. 35, Rest in Peace, Mario Golf Super Rush, Mario Strikers Battle League, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Super Mario RPG, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and Mario and Luigi Brothership. 23 Mario games, which means there's actually a 3-way tie. I'm lying. Remember the Arcade Archive games that came out on the eShop before Nintendo Switch Online launched? 5 of them were Mario, so the Switch actually has 28 games, but I hate counting them because they're basically just Virtual Console. As of recording this, the Switch 2 has 2 Mario games, Mario Kart World and Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. I'm sure this is going to age wonderfully. So the Switch, maybe predictably, has the most Mario games. The 3DS and NES are tied for second, and the Super Nintendo and GBA are tied for third. There's a weird amount of ties. But don't go anywhere because we're going to do one last count adding back in backwards compatibility, Virtual Console, and Nintendo Switch Online. The Super Nintendo has an accessory that makes it backwards compatible with the Game Boy called the Super Game Boy. This lets it play original Game Boy games but not Game Boy Color games, so it only gets an additional 12, making its new count 33. I already added the Game Boy game count to the Game Boy Color earlier. It has 17 Mario games. Add those 17 to the 21 Game Boy Advance games for 38 on the GBA through backwards compatibility. Add that to the GameCube's 13 because of the Game Boy Player, which lets you play games from every Game Boy console on the GameCube, including the e-reader games, which means the GameCube now has 51. The DS only gets to add the GBA library because it lost compatibility with the older system, so 18 plus 21 is 39. The Wii isn't compatible with the Game Boy Player, so it only gets 13 games from the GameCube, making its count with backwards compatibility 29. But the Wii introduced Virtual Console, which gives it 21 more games. And fuck it, 25th anniversary Super Mario Bros. 22 plus 29 means the Wii has 51 Mario games, just like the GameCube. And if you think that's a lot, the 3DS got every single DS game, including DSiWare, and then added Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance through the Ambassador program to its Virtual Console lineup. 30 Virtual Console games on top of the 18 DS games and its own 23, making the 3DS's total 71 Mario games. The Wii U loses GameCube backwards compatibility, so it only gets 38 games from the Wii, including its Virtual Console, but it added GBA and DS to its Virtual Console, giving it a combined 19 games from those platforms. Then the NES got 2 more games, and the SNES got Wrecking Crew 98, meaning the Wii U had 22 new Virtual Console games. Add in the 13 Wii U games and the 38 Wii games, and you have 73. The Switch has the 28 games made for it, plus 11 NES games, 7 Super Nintendo games, 9 N64 games, 9 Game Boy games, and 6 Game Boy Advance games, meaning it actually has 1 less than the 3DS. So can the Switch 2 beat the Wii U? Well, it starts with the 70 that the Switch had, plus Mario Kart World, plus Super Mario Party Jamboree, and with Super Mario Strikers on Nintendo Switch Online, it ties with the Wii U. But as soon as one more Mario game comes out, or they finally release Super Mario Sunshine on Nintendo Switch Online, the Switch 2 will definitively have the most Mario games out of any Nintendo console, at least until the Switch 3 drops in 2043. Except there is actually one more console that has even more games than the Switch 2. The computer!